They made no real attempt to explain why Daenerys was attacking innocent, unarmed people. The plot logic was absurd. Everyone's going, why didn't she just fly to the Red Keep? And they're kind of going, oh, well, they're being used as human shields. If that was your intent, they then changed it, apparently, to her deliberately saturation bombing the city block by block, killing unarmed women and children. Why? And they don't have the character actually voice an explanation for this, of, was it to punish them even though they weren't really loyal to Cersei? It's back up and realize Daenerys isn't a real person, and this might be a relic of an earlier storyline we don't know. A lot of people suspect that originally Cersei was going to go full Mad Queen on us, and basically hold the city hostage with wildfire caches hidden throughout the city. And Daenerys would go, okay, well, you're using human shields, fine, I'll attack anyway. Sort of like the way Hiroshima or Dresden were bombed in World War II. Well, okay, you're using human shields, that's not going to deter me. And there's a difference between ruthlessly killing your enemies, ruthlessly killing enemies knowing civilian casualties will get in the way, and third, deliberately attacking innocent people you don't need to attack in order to defeat your enemy. That makes no sense. And it really feels like another one of those things they changed at the last minute. Every major change from books to TV series, which we all ended up hating, was a last-minute change which apparently Benioff came up with in his writing shed without advice from other writers, in a big burst of creativity of, let's have Stannis defeated, let's have Talissa, let's do Dorne even though we're already filming. And every major change was a snap decision. This doesn't seem to be any different. That I don't know. There's a lot of rumors floating around. I really don't like to put stock in those unless I can verify them. That it really seems that at the least Cersei was going to have a miscarriage at some point. That there were so many reports about that from other leakers that turned out to be true. And the idea that this would be Cersei going crazy out of grief. And that they changed this, I'm worried that the theory is they changed this to Daenerys, from Daenerys rationally attacking through human shields to Daenerys going crazy to get Emilia Clarke an Emmy Award, because they're annoyed they never won her an award. That what was the highlight of last episode? I'm sorry I keep doubling back to it, but that epic shot of her nonverbal rage face as she's contorting her face in rage and realizing, I need to start killing civilians. There's no dialogue in it. She doesn't say anything, but when you look at the behind-the-scenes videos, we're supposed to be reading meaning into her face. Like, as if we can read her mental POV monologue, because they can read it when they're doing live table reads, and it makes sense to them then, so they go, well, of course, the audience, it must make sense for the audience. They don't understand that we can't see the directions behind these facial expressions. And you just saw more of that in this episode. And will Daenerys go crazy? Which, no, it's not going to be like this in the books. They wanted Emilia, and it's not because they're dark, it's not because they're sadists. They have no themes. This is a man who says themes are for 8th grade book reports. What did they talk about in the inside the episode for episode 5? Wow, they just fall back into, wow, Emilia's nonverbal performance is so great. This applies to other things, like, as you know, once we chose to marry Sansa to a rapist at random without clear explanation, what choice did we have but for him to rape her? You see, it's that compartmentalization of, and they just deflect from, well, the first part of that is absurd, or Doran Martell. Well, once we chose for Ilaria to be a pro-war maniac, obsessed with revenge, what choice did we have but for her to kill Doran, who is secretly a Targaryen loyalist in the books? Stannis. Once we chose to focus on Jon Snow, what choice did we have but to randomly write off Stannis burning Shireen, even though for all we know in the books Melisandre will do that without his permission? Or, once we chose for Jaime to go back to Cersei, what choice did we have but for him to die with her in the Red Keep? It's just that level of they drank the Kool-Aid, this is a cult. And the number of major reviewers actually making these defenses is shrinking. They are a vocal minority. We're not, oh, you're the vocal minority of fans who are yelling about this. You are the minority of Entertainment Weekly types like James Hibbard, who they give you interviews and press passes, and you sold your souls.